Chorro, around 60 kilometers north of Malaga, is a small, unassuming Spanish village of around 100 or so residents. It sits amongst some of Andalusia's most beautiful limestone mountains, rivers and lakes, yet bathers and peace seekers will be disappointed on arrival at the village, for the seemingly inviting lake by the foot of El Chorro is in fact a hydroelectric dam. The village is plagued not just by eyesore pylons and power stations, but by a constant electric buzzing from the plant. Either the residents are stone deaf or have exceptional mental health care to not have gone raving mad by the unending hum, although one wonders whether these plates were initially broken out of the inability to bear the sound any longer. Thousands of visitors, however, still visit El Chorro every year. Some enjoy the charming Villa Verde chapel just outside the village that's nestled between the mountain it takes its name from and the Almachoran cliffs, which seems to have its own nestled inhabitants. There are also the great Bobastro ruins that have stood on the Villa Verde mountain for over 1,000 years. Bobastro was once the grand headquarters of Mar ibn Hafsun, a powerful bandit leader who brought Christian-leaning tribes together to fight against the Cordoba Caliphate during the 9th and 10th centuries. The church is the most outstanding and best preserved ruins within the grounds, with beautifully carved round windows that would please any presenter of the classic BBC TV children's programme Play School. Undoubtedly, though, the most popular attraction El Chorro has to offer is its breathtaking Desfiladero de los Gaitanes gorge. The Guatalote River has taken thousands of years to carve this canyon out of the limestone rock, creating two split sections around 250 metres high and as little as 10 metres apart. Yet it is not the sight of this natural beauty that draws hundreds of visitors to it daily, but the means of trying to conquer it. The gorge and others nearby were exploited at the turn of the 20th century for their hydroelectric potential. A surface bridge over the canyon and a pathway along the side of the rock were put in place by 1905 for the floodgate workers to operate and maintain the newly built canal, dam and water power station in and around the canyons. When King Alfonso XIII came to inaugurate the power plant, he insisted on walking across the pathway and bridge himself. From there on, the pathway was known as El Caminito del Rey, the King's Little Pathway, and ever since, others have wanted to literally follow in royal footsteps. And it's understandable why people would want to. The 3-kilometre pathway through the very heart of the canyons and surrounding forestry is absolutely breathtaking, as long as acrophobia and vertigo are not an issue. What was an issue until a few years ago was the condition of the original pathway. 100-year-old concrete and metal rails were never going to last forever, and was certainly never intended to withstand large numbers of people regularly traipsing over it. Further developments to the power plants through the 20th century meant there was less use for the pathway as an access route, and so to save costs, the plant owners left the path to deteriorate. Yet the crumbling state of the pathway didn't put everyone off from walking along it. Professional climbers found adrenaline-fueled solutions around the numerous gaps and hazards along the route. This soon gave the pathway its notoriety as the most dangerous in the world, which in turn attracted less professional thrill seekers to try their luck along it. Unfortunately, in recent years, luck ran out for some. This spurred the local government to eventually close El Caminito del Rey and replace it with much safer, wider and sturdier boardwalks. The new €9 million pathway that hovers just above what remains of its predecessor was opened in 2015 and has already attracted thousands of visitors who now enjoy close proximity to the canyons without fearing that their next step along the way could be their last. But that is not to say the route is now void of heart-pounding moments. There is a new glass-bottomed viewing platform for those who dare to stand on it and even lean over it to clearly see the 100-metre drop beneath their feet. There is also the final few metres of the pathway that crosses scarily above the train line, where wits can be further shattered by the horn of a passing train. There is also the famous bridge, now the climax of the pathway, which is still in use today, albeit only by the hydroelectric plant. Caminito del Rey pedestrians now cross the canyon over an adjacent new suspension bridge. The apparent lightness of the bridge and the howling gales that often whip across it certainly left me thinking that I would have preferred to have taken my chances on the original bridge. The problem with El Caminito del Rey is there is no turning back, so one has no alternative but to pluck up the courage and feel exhilarated or otherwise on crossing the new bridge. It seems, however, that even a narrow, wobbly suspension crossing high up over a mighty gorge is not exhilarating enough for some, and that Caminito del Rey is no longer what it used to be, so death-defying challenges now have to be pursued somewhere else.